Hello friends. We start today's video with a question. Why aren't there many skyscrapers in Europe? Europe, although one of the most developed, most populated, and economically most profitable countries, has few skyscrapers in terms of entertainment, especially when compared to Asia and North America. Of the 218 skyscrapers built in this area today, 66% of them are located in 5 cities: London, Paris, Frankfurt, Moscow, and Istanbul. So why aren't there many skyscrapers in other big European cities? How do these cities without much urban interior space and the attentionable facilities that these buildings provide grow? And is everything in our urban world changing? The first time that the skyscrapers became famous in the 19th century in Chicago and New York, many European cities with historical buildings and large public spaces, which left a little space for new large structures. It was established over the years. Many European cities at that time were also a branch of the urban area, were a more diverse region, and did not need high-end buildings. In addition, when the power and influence of North America began to emerge, a cultural rivalry between the Americans who knew the European system of class was distorted, and the world was born knowing its differences. And for this reason, these two caves did not want their cities to be similar. And while North America was trying to change itself as a new rule, Europe was looking for its own heritage. This cultural war explains why the construction of the skyscrapers was not popular in Europe at first, but it does not explain how it has kept this cave backward since then. At the end of World War II, many thought that European cities were being modernized, and like North America, full of new skyscrapers were built. However, in Western Europe, where many cities lost their historical and distinctive buildings, instead of building new skyscrapers, they built the ruins of the buildings. In addition, the lack of Europe at that time meant that there was no need for skyscrapers. As a result, simple structures were replaced by buildings that were not sustainable. The attempts to rebuild the social and political unity were mostly by the medieval and Renaissance, which were looking for a new place for the majority of the population. At this time, Europe was the first of its skyscrapers. Of course, not for the sake of prosperity, but to show it. Although Brussels, the capital of Belgium, has never built a real skyscraper, it is still responsible for the lack of skyscrapers in this city. Without any attention to the local planning, in the 1960s, many of the buildings in Brussels were built to pave the way for large and modern structures that did not pay much attention to the cultural architectural values. Many of the faces of architects and the hard work that this new and innovative development was bringing to the city have put forward the term of Brussels construction and lobbied for the new construction laws and won. And they won. The new laws were limited to the new buildings, and they were based on historical monuments, and they were combined with the new urban progress to preserve the historical and cultural balance of the city. The changes in the laws in Brussels made a big impact in Europe, and the general disappointment of modern buildings that many thought were inauspicious and soulless spread throughout Europe. In response, many other European cities adopted similar regulations and left the areas under control, such as Paris's La Défense, so that taller buildings could be built here and far from historical centers. With the beginning of the 21st century and with the removal of architectural trends from the side of the pockets to the direction of different designs, and with the globalization of the world's calendar, observations about tall buildings throughout Europe became softer. Since the early 2000s, major financial centers such as London, Paris, Moscow, Istanbul, and Frankfurt have witnessed the expansion of several skyscrapers because the demand for commercial space in their centers has increased and have set the standards of living for the people of the city. In recent years, urban areas in central Scandinavia and Europe have been ranked among the highest in the world in terms of sustainability, happiness, and welfare. And at the same time, they have maintained their importance in their country. In this way, the construction of skyscrapers in today's cities is no longer purely due to economic growth or the need for a business administration. With a focus on what is estimated to be a city of 60% of the world's population by 2030, the construction of residential skyscrapers is now in full swing, especially in Asia and North America. With the self-employment of many rural industries, millions of people migrate to cities and urban areas. And the demand for affordable housing, which is mostly confronted with high-end devices, is increasing. Europe is not safe from this threat, especially since this world is interconnected, and Europe's ability to coexist and progress with the world's major economies such as China and the United States. And this means that in the coming decades, Europe can witness the emergence of many skyscrapers. With the attention that the total number of European cities are very important from a historical point of view, their efforts are in their preservation, and this means that in the near future, they will have a challenge for building new skyscrapers according to their own. Now I have a question. What is your opinion about skyscrapers? Would you be willing to live in a 45-story building? Or would you rather live in a city full of skyscrapers? Please comment below. Don't forget to like the video.